There's no denying it at this point, the One Piece anime series is absolutely legendary, and it just reached a brand new milestone, episode 1000, and it was pretty freaking epic.
Powerful Nerdcast assemble!
Stay dandy, baby. Greetings, my fellow Nakama. It's time to talk about a big milestone in the One Piece anime series, episode 1000. I don't typically review the One Piece anime series anymore. I mostly just review the manga, which, by the way, if you want a link to my latest review, it'll be at the end of this video, but I just had to talk about this episode of One Piece. It is crazy that we are already at episode 1000. Just saying One Piece episode 1000 is very strange, but you gotta realize that this series has been airing for a long time, ever since 1999. And this episode right here was certainly a showcase for its main characters. It was just a great reintroduction to a lot of our fan favorites, while also managing to move the story along in what's currently going on in the Wano Kingdom arc. Before we begin this review, however, which is going to be more of a discussion than an actual review, I would like to ask all of you, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you are liking my content, please consider subscribing to the channel, like the video. If you are subscribed, make sure you're hitting the bell button. It'll let you know when all my videos are released. And you could also consider subscribing through my Patreon, where you can make a small monthly donation. I would love to add your name to all of the people that you currently see on screen. These are the crew members of Ace Guru. But let's go ahead and jump into One Piece episode 1000, which was certainly a showcase for all of the main characters of the series. It was essentially the ultimate roll call kind of episode. Basically, it's just a continuation of everything that's been going on in the Wano arc, which is a massive war of the Straw Hat Pirates teaming up with the Mink Tribe and the Samurai as they throw down with Kaido and his crew, as well as Big Mom and all the other people who'd formed an alliance with Kaido. And it's been just chaotic, to say the least. It's been insane. And while this was more of a showcase for the Straw Hat Pirates, there were certainly some moments in this episode which I thought were really fantastic. In particular, Nekomamushi and Inu Arashi. In fact, I think that might have been the best animated scene of the entire episode. Not the Straw Hats, but the cat and the dog fighting a freaking woolly mammoth. It looked incredible. Of course, they're in their Sulong forms, powered up by the full moon, so they are incredibly powerful. And I just really love the way that this entire scene was executed. But the rest of the episode was essentially all of the Straw Hat Pirates coming in their respective battles and showing off who they are, where they've been, where they are going. It all kicked off, of course, with Luffy and Zoro as they were trying to make their escape to the top portion of Onigashima before being stopped by Queen, who decided to attack them in his massive dinosaur form as he threw them into giant monsters and untold numbers of Kaido's crew. But this is basically the moment where each individual Straw Hat Pirate got to come in and do something really awesome. I think one of the big highlights here has got to be Frankie, who went through a giant transformation sequence combining with Chopper and Usopp, who were using his tank, and he transformed into the massive Shogun Frankie. I thought, look, that looked really awesome. A great callback to classic giant super robot anime series going through their big transformations. It was absolutely insane and really satisfying, especially when he took down that one number character, the giant monster. That was great. But right after that, that's basically when the episode decided to slow down just a little bit and reintroduce every single Straw Hat crew member. And this was the part of the episode that I thought was probably the real strongest and the most emotional, especially if you've been following these characters for such a long time. They do a great job of letting them all do something really awesome. Each character has like a really cool color filter that they put over them to make it look really stylistic, and then we get like a lot of these really great montage sequences of seeing where they came from in the past of the series to where they are now. Some of the major highlights from these characters, which I thought was really great. Very nostalgic, and I love the fact that it just reminded me of how far the series has come and how different the overall art style has actually changed. Love it or hate it, if you like the old style or the new style, it was great to sort of see the evolution of everything, and eventually leading to that one great moment where all the Straw Hat Pirates do come together at the end as they make their big declaration to take down Kaido, and of course, Luffy saying what is effectively his catchphrase, saying that he's going to be king of the pirates. I also really loved how they actually managed to add staff credits at the end of this episode episode, which never happens in One Piece. It's one of the few series that just doesn't do it, but here they decided to honor a lot of the people that were working on it, and they even personally thank everyone who've been watching. I especially love the whole thanks, oh, and by the way, to be continued. I thought that was really damned awesome. And also, I just loved the callbacks to all the classic moments of the series. Like the fact that the Midway title card is essentially the old bounty poster that we used to see with the same fanfare. It looked really great, except this time we had all the updated version of the Straw Hat Pirates. But even with all that, even with these great moments and well-animated scenes and seeing all these characters come together that we love so much, the best part of this episode, for me personally, was that intro. The intro of this episode was so gut-busting nostalgic, I couldn't take it. It literally brought tears to my eyes. It was fantastic. Because essentially what they did was they took the original One Piece opening, which is We Are, and they reanimated it with the characters in their current forms and costumes, introducing some elements from the current arc of Wano, while still using that same song. But the best part about it had to be the way that it actually started out, where it was done in an original 4x3 format, and they put like a 360p filter over the entire thing to make it look a little old. And then when we finally got that shot of all the different pirate ships that were making their way out to sea, suddenly the screen started to stretch out to a 16:9 format before suddenly going into a much higher resolution form, and it was just awesome. I loved the opening here. It also reminded me that over time, the openings in One Piece have gotten ridiculously long. It's one of the few anime series where the opening is like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's not the case for most anime series. It's just something that One Piece has always done, but the original opening was significantly shorter, and I'm glad that they didn't decide to draw it out all that much, spending more time in honoring the characters and where they've come from. They took advantage of that in this episode. There wasn't even like a proper recap here. It just sort of dove right into all of the awesomeness. It was a continuation of the current story, but it also ended up being sort of like a celebration of all of these characters overall, and it was done in such a classy and really fun way. I'm curious to see if going forward, if they're going to continue to use the rest of this like We Are opening for the rest of Wano, or if they're just going to go back to the other one. And even if they do go back to the other one, this was a great way to sort of honor the legacy of One Piece. So what's the rundown on this episode of the One Piece anime series? This one was nostalgic. That's just the best way to put it. It didn't blow me away as much as I was hoping it would, but that opening really managed to hit me pretty emotionally. And this is coming from someone who hasn't actually like followed One Piece since the very beginning. You know, truth be told, I've only really been a One Piece fan since about 2009. I completely sort of ignored the franchise for the longest time because I couldn't get past the really weird art style. I just couldn't really get into it, and that's kind of strange because originally I was very picky about some of the anime and manga that I used to consume, but eventually I just decided to give it a shot, and I ended up sort of like falling in love with the franchise, and at that point I kind of became like a hardcore fan. It is also worth mentioning that my introduction to One Piece was not through the manga, but actually through the anime adaptation. I still only started reading the manga version maybe about 5 years ago. That's just the way that it actually was, but my introduction was through the anime, so this episode felt extra special to me, and it made me appreciate all of it just a little bit more. And this is a major milestone, and I can't wait to see how much longer it's actually going to go. According to the author, the manga version should wrap up in the next 4 to 5 years, which means this anime is going to go on a good while as well. I mean, we still have a long way to go before we reach the end, and there's so many other things to wrap up and see what they're going to do here, but I'm glad that this episode didn't get too wrapped up in the fact that, you know, this is a special episode, but also we gotta continue the Wano arc. Everything that was in this episode was canon to the manga, so, you know, but it took its time more in, you know, letting us reestablish these characters again. And like I said, the montage sequences of them were all great, especially getting to see like younger versions of the characters. I don't recall ever seeing like a younger version of Brook before. Maybe we saw Kid Brook for the first time in the series. Seeing like a younger Jinbei was kind of awesome. I thought that was great. Seeing more of Chopper when he was a young little baby deer was kind of cool. And I really like that the montage sequences did a good job of not showing just how badass these characters are, but showing a little bit more about their backstories and how emotional they actually were, and getting to see the big changes that they went through here. I also love that the narrator referred to Usopp as God Usopp during his montage sequence. thumbs up right there. That's one of the things I liked about this episode a lot too. But really, this was just a celebration of One Piece and its characters, and they could have done something else. They could have given us like a big special or something, but this still ended up feeling kind of special in a way. And it was really great to actually, like, you know, be a part of this history and been talking about One Piece for a long time and having an opportunity to talk about this episode. Like I said, I don't review the anime anymore. It's mostly because I just read the manga, and it's kind of redundant to do both of them at the same time. But if you guys want to see more One Piece anime content, the best way to do it is to tell me why in the comment section below. But most importantly, I want to hear from you guys. What did you think about the big milestone of One Piece having its 1,000th episode? Did it hit you emotionally? Did you love the intro? Did you have a favorite moment from this episode in particular? And now that we've reached 1,000 episodes, what's your favorite One Piece moment or memory? Let's talk about them in the comment section below, and let's celebrate this milestone together. I would love to talk with you guys about that. I'd even like to do maybe a whole nother separate video, maybe eventually when the One Piece series does end, counting down sort of like my favorite moments from the entire franchise, which is going to be very hard to do because there are a lot of really great moments. But yeah, let's just talk about this, guys. Just comment section below. Let's have a big discussion. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I just wanted to do something a little different this time. I couldn't ignore the fact that One Piece has a 1,000th episode. This is just special. So there it is, my friends. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you all next time. And as always, stay dandy, baby.